Hi there, everybody. I'm Fred Thomas, and you are watching All Things Bike. And today we are speaking with Ainsley Judge, Director of the Portland Gear Hub. Ainsley, do you know that you are the first guest of this show? 2 years ago, or 3 years ago, you were the first one to step up and be on the show.
I didn't remember until I walked in, and then I had that flashback, wait, I've been here before.
Oh, great. Well, at least you didn't turn around and flee, because there's so much that has been happening at the Portland Gear Hub the past 2 years that we need an update. And but before we do that, just remind us what the mission of the organization is.
Sure. The Portland Gear Hub is a nonprofit outdoor gear and bike shop, and we're powered by Camp Ketcha, a kids outdoor center down in Scarborough.
Oh, right. And there's a Scarborough. Oh, right.
All of Camp Ketcha is down in Scarborough, and then we are a program of theirs that operates here in Portland.
Okay. Yeah. Well, then describe the kind of gear that is there at the shop.
Sure. All outdoor equipment that helps get people in the true out of doors. So we don't exactly do team sports, but we have, tents and sleeping bags and backpacks for a camping trip. Bikes, all bike components and parts and accessories, and snowshoes, cross-country skis, ice skates, kayaks, that type of stuff.
Just outdoor gear. And I mean, it's is there any sort of seasonality to this? I mean, do you have more kayaks in the summer than in the winter?
Oh, sure, yeah. We've been pushing pretty hard the last couple of weeks to get out all of our winter gear, and some people are kind of Gear Hub regulars, and they'll stop in every week or so, and they're like, wait, this is very different. You've changed again. And we'll move the whole display units around. And we just brought out 2 huge Nordic ski displays. And when I left about an hour ago, we had a volunteer that had been there for like 3 hours sorting wooden skis and bamboo poles. And,
right. This is the season. Yeah, so it's constantly changing. It's a sort of a
daily
dynamic, but that makes it exciting. Some consumers really like the thrill of the chase and the surprise. And so how many people are there now? Because when you first came on the show, I think you had just moved from the YMCA basement and then to a location on St. John Street, which is a bit bigger. And now you're in a much larger location and more people. So talk about that.
Wow, so that was some time ago.
It's great though. I mean, we have 47 subscribers on the show, and you have expanded, twofold since. Yeah,
it's been an exciting year and a dynamic year. We moved in May and opened up in a new location on Washington Ave, and that's where the main shop is. It's an old auto garage, and
for the gear
for all the gear, and then we opened up a program center, And as part of that sort of increase in growth and change, we hired on a few more staff, brought some people on full time, and we're up to 6.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's great. And well, then explain a little bit how it'll work. If I have stuff, I turn up, drop it off, and what are the important details there?
Sure. So we're a 501c3 nonprofit. Everything is donation based. So we don't buy or trade or do consignment at all. And the gear that's inside is stuff from people's basement or garages that they weren't using anymore, or a bike that their kid grew out of. And they donate it to us, and we do full repairs on everything. So we'll tune up a bike before we sell it. We'll inspect the skis, we'll kind of sharpen the edges, we'll swap out bindings, we'll clean a backpack. We have a sewing machine, and we can repair like a tent or a rain fly or backpack strap.
That's great.
And the idea is that you're getting something used, and we're selling it as it is, but there's like this we're adding repair value to it in a way, so you can trust the equipment.
You're polishing it up, you're cleaning it, you're inspecting it, and you're making sure that it really will function.
Making sure it works.
Yeah, I mean, lots of times those items really have many more years of use in them. And so has the new location really helped you take in more stuff and bring in more customers?
Yeah, this summer was our busiest yet. It was really exciting and at times overwhelming, but the quality of donations has improved every year, but in our new location, tremendously so. And new people find out we exist all the time, and they'll walk in and scratch their heads and be like, whoa, what is going on?
Obviously,
what is this?
They have not been watching All Things Bike, clearly.
Yeah, we need to change that.
We're working on it. Well, tell me some of the strange stuff that has been dropped off, and some of the weird stories that come through.
Yeah, a lot of the items have stories. For a while, we were asking donors to, sometimes a donor will bring like a huge truckload of stuff in, and we can tell they're sort of sentimental about it, and there's some attachment. And we'll ask them to share a story or like write down something. And, we got a couple tents and backpacks recently that had like traveled all over the world, and they have patches from every country the person had been to. With that, there's like all the smells from every trip it's ever been on. But we had a washer and dryer donated this fall, so that's good.
And that fits into the outdoor gear if it was kept in the
So
garage,
now we can clean everything.
Oh, I see. Yeah. Okay.
So we're using it. We're not selling that.
It wasn't.
Not for sale.
Right. No. Exactly. Well. Well, that's great. I mean, I also saw that you have the gear gallery, and that's where you take pictures of a lot of the stuff that comes in, and so maybe that you give the picture to the person who's sentimental about their item, but you also it's very effective in helping people see what's there. And how often do you update that? Is that frequent?
We did a huge batch upload this summer. We kind of redid our website this summer. We got a few comments from people that was like, your website is very 90s.
Authentic.
And we're like, yeah, a lot of our gear is it's like from the 90s, but we've only been around for like 4 years, so we're not from the 90s. Maybe we should change that.
Well, it looks great now.
So we upgraded it, thank you. So a lot of those photos had been like built up over the last few years, and they're some of our favorite items or favorite bikes, and there are a lot of gems in the donation pools, and we like to highlight those. But no, I added some photos a couple weeks ago.
Great. Yeah. Well, it's great entertainment and useful. And but now tell us about the other part of this organization is the bike school, as it's known. Is that new? Was that always?
Yeah. So, well, the fact that it's its own space is new, but all of the we've always been running programs in our retail space, and we kind of reached this point last year on St. John Street where we realized our programs were almost starting to compete with our retail or selling gear, because we wanted to offer more of each, and we were getting in higher volumes of donated goods that needed our attention. So we decided to split the two apart. And we ended up finding 2 really amazing spaces, and the bike school was also opened in May, and it's on Anderson Street in the corner of Fox and Anderson. It's right across from Kennedy Park, down underneath the East Bayside neighborhood, and the school bus kind of drops a bunch of kids off like right outside the bike school at 3:15, and
it's right near the bike path too, isn't it?
It's near a couple of paths. It's near Back Cove, near the Bayside Trail, and it's near a park, and it's in a neighborhood. So it's kind of a perfect opportunity to increase our youth programming in ways we couldn't before. And now we're also offering more adult classes in that space that we had always dreamed of doing, but didn't have the dedicated space to do so.
Right. So part of it is after school youth programs, and then adults as well. I mean, what describe the adult program a little bit? Are these people who are curious about bike repair, or they just need to change a tire and they don't know how? It's
such a range. It's really amazing how many people want to learn more about bikes. Yeah.
This is great news.
So in the summer we run a program with the Bike Coalition of Maine called Bikes for All Mainers, and that's been going on for a couple of years now, and mostly that's to get a bike, but also mechanical education and traffic safety information to mostly low-income adults, a lot of new Mainers. So that was kind of our first adult program, and now we've started offering more advanced classes, and the most popular class we've started is called Be Your Own Bike Mechanic, and it's a 5-week course, and it's limited to 5 or 6 students, and everyone gets their own bench and stand and tools. They bring their own bike in, put it up, and each session is about 2.5 hours long. And Shannon Belt from the Bike Coalition of Maine, and Brian Dans, who's been around the bike scene
He's been on the show.
He's been on the show. I mean, so we all know Brian, but anyway, those 2 guys do an amazing job of teaching every single nook and cranny of your individual and specific bike, so you can. And some of these folks have never even really touched their bike mechanically before. Some are triathletes, and they're pretty well, they're really knowledgeable about the sport or about cycling, but they may feel nervous to kind of fuss with their
right.
bike, apart from putting the chain back on.
Right.
So yeah, I guess it covers a wide range.
Yeah, well, I mean that's great news. How about some of the other programs? I know you've got alternate fuel and group rides and Huffy Hauler, bike parade.
Yeah, there's a lot that's been happening.
And then you've got the Alley Cat race. So which ones would you like to highlight?
So yeah, basically we're using it as a community space, and the reason we opened the bike school, or we were able to open up the bike school, because we received a lot of funding from individuals. Mm-hmm. We ran a Kickstarter fundraiser this past spring and raised, over $6,000 just from individual support. And with that money, we bought all new stands and tools. Wow. So it's a very clean, sparse, organized study center, and it allows us to run a whole array of free classes to pretty expensive classes to free programs for kids, and alternative fuel is like a community speaker series where people come in and share about an adventure they had. And yeah, it's a way to kind of have fun, and if someone has an idea, we now have a space for them to try that out. Space
is so important, and it's great that you've got these two perfect locations. Well, I mean, you've done so much. What could possibly be on the agenda for next year?
Yeah, I mean, a few things. We're going to run Beer on Bike Mechanic at a few different times. That's been just an incredibly popular class, and it will sell out within 24 hours sometimes that we've posted it. So that's pretty great. And we're going to run, in 2018, we're going to run a night class, a morning weekday class, and probably do some weekend intensives, like a full overhaul on a bike on a Saturday, Sunday. So that's going to come up in January. We're offering a wheel building class next week and again in January, and it's a Dynamo Hub wheel building class, and we've had a lot of interest in that. But it fits with the theme. I mean, it's self-powered lighting.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, this is the kind of wheel that will go on a commuter bike.
Yeah, exactly. Or even like a trail bike if you ride through the winter, or cargo bike. But yeah, so that's exciting, and then probably some more summer camp programs next summer for kids.
Wow, that's great. Well, you're going to have a busy summer. I'm quite sure. That's great. Hey, well, look, that's all we've got time for. Thanks so much for coming down. Great to see you again, and we will talk bikes again soon, I am sure.
Sounds good.
All right, everybody, that was Ainsley, judge of the Portland Gear Hub. You can learn a lot more about the organization and their programs on their new website. Thanks so much for watching. We'll talk to you again soon.
All Things Bike with Fred Thomas is brought to you by Xentis, performance carbon wheels handmade in Austria for road and off-road riding. Xentis, next generation wheels. And Frame and Wheel eBay bike selling services. Time, space, cash. Pick 3. And AD Bikes, the modern face of Austro-Daimler cycling and the bike company of the future.